In this lesson, we are going to go through the steps of constructing a perpendicular bisector of a line segment using a compass and a straight edge. Here's my straight edge, which is a protractor, and here is my compass. So we have line segment AB, and we're going to take these quick steps to bisect the segment. Once we bisect the segment, we will have constructed the perpendicular bisector. So first thing you notice is that the endpoints A and B are already labeled. If they're not labeled on your document, then you will want to go ahead and label two endpoints. The next thing we're going to do is draw a circle A with the center at A with the radius of AB. So what that means is I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to put it at point A, and I'm going to extend my compass so that it touches point B. From there, I am going to construct my circle. Put my pencil down. I'm still constructing my circle. And then the next thing I'm going to do is construct circle B with the center at B and a radius of BA. So for this circle, I do not change the radius. I simply move from one point to the other. And now I have two circles. One is circle A and the other one is circle B. Then I'm going to label the point of intersections as C and D. My point of intersections are here and here. So I'll label this point C and this point D. The last thing I'm going to do is draw the line CD. This is the line CD. Now, this line is the perpendicular bisector. Therefore, it makes a right angle, which is 90 degrees. And it also creates a midpoint between A and B, making these two segments congruent. Further discovery will lead us to understand that it will create an isosceles triangle at the very least, because these two sides will be congruent. We'll get into more discussions about triangles later in the module. But these are the steps to create an angle, not an angle bisector, I'm sorry, to create a perpendicular bisector. Please make sure you know that AC is congruent to CB. Additionally, BD, segment BD, is congruent to segment AD. And if we put a point here, or if we put a point here, let's say we put point E here. If we put a point there, these will also be congruent. Now, what that tells us is that the perpendicular bisector of a segment is symmetric with respect to the endpoints of the segment. The perpendicular bisector passes through the midpoint of the segment, and it forms right angles with the segment, and any point on the perpendicular bisector is equidistant to the endpoints of the segment. Recap. Steps to construct the perpendicular bisector. You take your compass, you find two endpoints, you label them. Then you find the distance from one endpoint to the other, and you construct the circle. You turn your compass to the other endpoint, and you construct the second circle. The points where they intersect, we label those points. Between those 2 points is the line that forms the perpendicular bisector, and any segments any endpoints that connect to any point on the perpendicular bisector are congruent.